Hello, guys. Can you just confirm that you can hear me? Yeah, just send me a text saying, yes, we hear you. Okay. So thank you for joining in tonight. Let me start with the first question. Can you drop question there? We can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be food pyramid. Just ask me whatever you think is important for you to talk about. I hope you watched the video on food pyramid that came before the last video on the rest between the sets. So you're welcome to ask questions. So there is a first question: why bro split is better than upper lower? Well, I don't know what bro split is. I don't refer to any system as bro. I only talk about the best possible training system that you can have in order to improve your hypertrophy and fat loss. And if this is what you call bro, then fine, you can call it any way you want it. But a lower upper body split, it's something that will benefit only beginners, because if you train lower body, upper body, and then again lower body, upper body the same week, you're going to end up training every muscle twice per week, which is not very effective. Obviously, is not the best possible way of training, because you must be training with junk volume in order to train the same muscle twice per week. And unless you are on a huge amount of steroids, growth hormone, and insulin. So in that scenario, you can do your upper lower body, but this is not something that I suggest and promote. The next question is ideal time to eat after training. Well, if you watch my videos, you know that I suggest eating 1 hour after you finish your workout, simply because there is a lot of hormonal activity in your body that you need to observe, and you need to respect that if you want to benefit from it. And if you stuff yourself immediately with food, that means that you will actually suppress your growth hormone activity, which is a very silly thing to do. But I would advise you to wait at least an hour and then eat. I usually don't eat anything at least 2 hours after the workout. Sometimes I have whey protein shake, depending on circumstances, if I don't have time to eat, if I'm with clients or something like that. But even with the protein shake, it will never be before 1 hour after workout. So I always wait 1 hour after workout. What do you think about the Mike Menzer training routine? Well, the real Mike Menzer training routine was high volume, and this is how he actually built his physique. And he won Mr. Universe in Acapulco in 1978, I believe, with a perfect score of 100. He never did heavy duty. He promoted it for business purposes, but he never did it. And as long as he trained high volume, he was in great shape. And he started lowering volume, never heavy duty, but lowering volume. He never got in the same shape, and therefore Even in his own words, he wasn't very good in 1980. So if you want to believe in his business proposal, fine, but it's not productive. It doesn't work for anybody. Never did. It's just a hype, money making marketing tool. It's up to you. Sleep is the most important thing. Yes, sleep is definitely very important because this is the time when you burn fat and build muscles due to the very powerful hormone, which is called growth hormone. You should sleep anyway minimum 7 hours, preferably 8 to 9, in order to allow your nervous system, your body to fully recover and also to build new tissue and burn body fat. You burn body fat exclusively during the night. So if the growth hormone is suppressed, if you don't sleep enough, you won't be burning as much body fat as you will if you follow my advice. I know you said don't do cardio, but what is the best way to increase your VO2 max? I mean, why would you increase your VO2 max? What is such important thing about that VO2 max? This is something that is invented in order to for people to make money, measuring that, selling you gadgets to measure VO2 max. But I don't understand, why is this so necessary? Whoever said that that's a critical thing. So the best way to improve your cardiovascular and respiratory system is obviously to train as I suggest, with short rest between the sets. And if you do that, you will see how your body will respond. Cardiovascular system, respiratory will be burning lots of fat, building muscles because you will be hitting that sarcoplasmic growth, which is the most important growth for bodybuilding. And if you do legs, for example, for anywhere around 20, 30 reps, then come back to me and let's talk about your cardiovascular involvement, so you will understand what bodybuilding really is. So it's not a comfort zone, as most of people like to see, like to navigate. It's not something that you can do one set per exercise, because very easy thing to do, or 3 to 5 reps, very easy. I did it, I can tell you that. 3 to 5 reps with heavy weights, yes, it's hard, but try to lower the weight and do 30 reps, for example, squat, and then come back to me and tell me what was harder. So you will understand in an instant why people don't like to train like Arnold or Serge Nubre or Sergio Oliva, and because it's hard. So especially now in this modern world, when most of the people are spoiled, literally spoiled, this is not something that attracts attention. This is why people who promote heavy duty training system have loads of followers, because people appreciate if you try to sell them the fable of easy workouts that will deliver the maximum, but that is not going to happen. So you can try and you will see what is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. You may get stronger, but you won't get bigger. So if you are talking bodybuilding, then clearly you need to change your strategy. What exactly is nervous system fatigue from working out? Well, when you train correctly, you will obviously involve your nervous system. You have to, because there is no way you can avoid it. But if you train incorrectly, if you stress yourself too much, if you perform exercises with so much weight in low reps, you will use everything that you have just in order to lift that weight. So not necessarily to develop your quads, but to fight the weights. And that will stress your nervous system more than it should be done. So when you finish your workout, you're going to be dead, but your legs are not going to be dead. When I do my workout, after the leg workout, for example, I'm not dead, but I hardly walk because my legs are gone, but I'm not dead. So I've done everything super efficiently without killing my nervous system, without producing cortisol. And yeah, in a nutshell, this is the answer. Uh, concentric part of the squat should be explosive or controlled. Well, if you do explosive rep, you will rely mainly on momentum, which means that you will not have a muscle involvement 100%. It's very dangerous. It's very prone to injuries. So I don't know whoever thought about that, but you should just go 1-2 seconds up, maybe 2-3 seconds down. You need to have that constant, continuous tension in order to achieve maximum mechanical tension, and that is not going to happen if you start jumping around with weights. First of all, you can't jump with heavy weights, so you need to lower the weight in order to do the explosive rep, or you need to bounce from the bottom, as most likely is the case. So not very good, no. Do you have any recommendations on amino acids as powder form? Well, there have been so many products, BCAAs, essential amino acids, and similar. I don't think you need them, and not necessarily, because they are all processed. We don't know where they come from. We know nothing about their absorption. So human body is created to digest food, not amino acids. So I would stick to food. Most of the top professional bodybuilders are exclusively relying on food. Still, they always did. They're even doing now. So not necessarily you need them at all. If I try to put on as much muscle as I can when I'm 33, will I lose my muscles when my testosterone begins to drop after I'm 40, etc.? Yes, most likely you will start losing with the drop of your testosterone, not just your muscles, but many other metabolic functions which are directly related to testosterone. So you have to be very careful, measure your testosterone. If it goes very low, maybe you should consider taking TRT. Nothing's wrong with that. You just need to be in charge. Don't let accidents or life to get over you. So yes, this is the answer. How do I mitigate fat gain when trying to gain muscle? It's very simple. When you gain muscle, your body will start burning more energy anyway, especially from body fat, because you simply burn body fat in the rest time, and bigger your engine, bigger your muscle mass, more energy you will burn. So that will go from fat tissue. You can't burn energy from glycogen while you're resting. Like now, I'm burning some energy. As you can see, I'm talking, I'm thinking, I'm breathing, I'm digesting. Energy is needed for that, for metabolic, basal metabolic rate, and that energy comes exclusively from fat. So bigger your engine, more fat you will burn. So follow the diet advice that I give and training advice, and that's simple. Nothing complicated about it. I think if you train that muscle group with lots of volume the 1 day per week, you don't have to train it twice per week and can allow the muscle to build while everything else rests. Yes, this is what I say. Will you be less prone to injury if you using your method? Absolutely. I've been talking about that in many videos. If you follow my advice, you will have no injuries. Simple as it is. So it's entirely up to you. I'm training chest and I rest 45 seconds between sets. It seems that I won't be able to lift as much weight as it would be when I rest 1 minute between sets. Does how much lift matters? Depending, if you want to be a strength athlete, power lifter, then rest 5 minutes and you will be able to lift more weights. If you're a bodybuilder, you need to rest less. So when I suggest rest anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds, meaning 30 seconds for, let's say, biceps, triceps, shoulders, 60 seconds for back or chest, I'm giving you guidance. I'm giving you a target. So I'm not giving you a recipe. You don't have to rest exactly 30 seconds. 60 seconds, you can rest 70, 50. Start listening to your body. Try to be in charge. You are the driver of your car, of your life. So you are in the driving seat. So you decide how long you need to rest. What is the difference between 45 and 60 seconds? Not much. 60 seconds is fine. But over time, try to cut that rest between the sets. So that way you will increase the mobilizing of more muscle fibers, as people in golden era did. Arnold didn't rest long. Serge Nubret didn't rest. Sergio didn't rest long. People just trained set after set after set. This is why they had those dense bodies, really, really defined, cut, full. These guys were amazing. The only difference between them and these guys now, obviously not mentioning the drugs, is that the training is very different. These guys are lazy today. This is why they look puffy, they look soft. People in golden era trained with short rest and look at the results. But it's hard. It's hard. So maybe most of the people don't like that. It's not really comfortable, it's not pleasing, it's not fun. Bodybuilding is serious business. If you want to build muscle, you need to understand that's a very, very difficult thing to do. And it's not going to happen if you're pleasing yourself in the gym, if you're looking for comfort, and if you don't want to push hard. Yeah, well, welcome to bodybuilding. R.A. Taki, thank you very much for your gift membership. Appreciate that. If you do 2 muscle groups in one session, should you alternate? Should focus on one at a time? I don't understand the question. Maybe you can rephrase this. Is there a minimum amount of carbs to trigger an insulin response? Well, in general, you should eat less carbs, depending on how you look. If you can see your six-pack, if you're really fit and everything is fine and you're eating 200 grams of carbs, fantastic. Keep doing it. If you can't see your abs, you have to reconsider your diet. I advise people to be on high protein, medium fat, and low carb diet in order to build muscle and burn fat at the same time, as you probably learned from my videos. Thoughts on OMAD? 1 meal a day, fine for people who can do it. It's hard, it's not easy. I recommend, especially for naturals, 2 to 4 meals per day. I eat 3 times per day. Some people enjoy eating twice. I prefer 3. Some people need 4. Some people can eat once. It's individual, depends on many different circumstances. And if you can still build muscle and stay lean with 1 meal a day, fine. No problem with that. Everybody needs to find out what works for them. Again, my advice, take it as guidance, not a recipe. I'm not giving you recipe because it's impossible to give a recipe, a universal recipe for everybody, a general. I do more closer advice when I do personalized training programs and personalized nutritional programs. When I coach people online, then they get from me very, very accurate, precise diet or training program because I work with them one-to-one. But when I talk in the videos or in my books, the advice is general. It should be used as guidance and not as a recipe. So you need to find out exactly what works for you the best, but use the principles as main guidance. What are your thoughts on using resistant bands while traveling on vacation? Real life really feel they are convenient way to keep from on training, losing muscle. Well, I don't really believe in those resistance bands. If you're traveling, the best thing that you can do, simply do press ups for your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Do as many sets as you can, as many reps as you can. You can do 10, 15, 50 reps in one set, then do another one, and do as many sets as you can, 4, 5, 10, 20, again, individual. And that will be much better when it comes to upper body. When it comes to legs, simply do body weight squats, again, as many reps as you can, as many sets as you can. Then you can do lunges after that. Also, you can do crunches or leg raises on the floor. Again, as many reps, as many sets. It'll be much better, because these elastic bands is just gimmicks. So I'm not in favor of them. Hello, Dr. Nash. I just started applying your training principles, and I wanted to ask about time and attention for quads. What is a good starting weight to accomplish 20 sets equal 20 minutes? A bit confusing question, obviously, because of confusing understanding. Time and attention for quads, I suggest 12 to 20 reps. So if you do 20 reps, every rep 3 seconds is about 60 seconds per set. If you do 12, let's say 3 seconds, there will be 36 seconds. So roughly from 40 to 60 seconds. For more advanced people, even longer. Maybe 90 seconds will be better. There are people who did hundreds of reps, the people with biggest legs in bodybuilding, like Lee Priest or Tom Platz. They did hundreds of reps. Even Lee Priest once did 1,000 reps on leg press. So doing a few hundred reps on regular basis was a normal thing for these guys. So this is suggesting you that your legs can take so much more, not necessarily weight, but reps. So yeah, start from there. I'm quite small yet lean. Muscle building doesn't come to me easily. Should I track calories or simply track my weight weekly? Would a minimal weight gain of 0. I mean, look, you're thinking too much. You're too mathematical. Nothing is going to happen like this. Just forget about everything, right? Start eating as I advised and start training as I advised, and relax about numbers and digits. They are not really accurate measurement. They are absolutely not important. So relax and train with high intensity. Under intensity, consider what I call intensity, and eat enough protein, and things will happen. Don't measure things weekly. Do a photos of yourself, front, side, and back, once a month, the same place and the same time. And then over the period of months, compare those photos. This is the best way of checking your progress. Obviously, I hope you can do great training split, and also you can work out your best diet, so that will take you forward. But don't rely on digits, on calories as well. Watch my videos on video on calories. Calories simply lie to you. So good luck. Ash, do you personally do any stretching after your workouts? Do you think post-training stretching and mobility work is important for injury prevention? No, I don't do anything like that. I don't think this is absolutely unnecessary. I do a little bit of stretching, maybe my lower back, or stretch my hips. Obviously, do a couple of sets of body weight squats before I start training my legs, and that's it. So there is nothing extraordinary. There is no science about stretching. Ability to stretch is very individual. Some people have more elastin in their connective tissues, like women, for example, and they can stretch more. Even fat women can stretch more than the leanest athlete. I don't know what is this all about. So what if you can stretch? What do you think you're going to achieve with that? The injury prevention? Absolutely not. Nothing to do with injuries. Stretching is just stretching. For whatever reason you want to do it, if you want to do it, fine, but nothing to do with joint health and also injury prevention. Absolutely no. I tried your advice for low carb diet and I didn't have energy for my hard training and recovery. Yeah, that's possible because you probably didn't eat enough protein or enough fat. This is happening all the time. So you need to watch my video on that. I did a video on that. The biggest low carb, high protein diet. Is high protein diet healthy for you or something like that? But there is the video. And I explain, you didn't eat enough. I'm full of energy, but I eat enough protein and fat, so I don't have ever any problem with that. Not just me, but so many of my clients who are on low carb diets, they never complain about that. Does it matter if weightlifting fasted or during eating window? It doesn't matter. That again depends on your schedule. There are a lot of people who train on empty stomach, and that's fine. I trained on empty stomach. I was when I competed, absolutely perfect. Just have a coffee, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes before your workout, and because you don't need food in your body in order to go to perform high intensity workout. You perform your intensity workout depending on glycogen in your muscles, and that is not something that can be stored within an hour. So absolute nonsense. A lot of people just drink some pre-workout carb shakes, this and that. For what? You're not stored no glycogen with that. Glycogen has been stored hours, so probably day or days before. If you train legs on, let's say, Tuesday previous week, and now you're training legs on Tuesday, you store the glycogen days before that workout. So glycogen is there in your legs. So what is the meal going to do? You need 5, 6, 7 hours to digest your meal. Absolutely not related at all to your performance. So training on empty stomach is fine. If you train in the middle of the day, I would advise you to eat 2 to 3 hours before your workout, because you don't want your digestive system to be working fully after you eat your meal. Obviously, the digestion is at its highest. So you don't want that, because there's a lot of energy that the body is actually burning to digest that food. So you don't want that. So I preferably 3 hours before my workout. This is how it is. It is said that close grip supinated pull-ups are great for biceps, but does it target the lats equally as well? Well, this exercise puts a lot of biceps, and especially biceps tendons, into action, which is not a very clever thing to do. If you want the best from your pull-ups, you need to go wide grip. Wide grip is the best exercise for pull-ups, is the best exercise for back, for people who can do it. Close grip, under grip, or Dorian Yates style, bent over rows, pull downs, huge stress on the biceps tendon. Absolutely ridiculous. If you want to tear your biceps as Dorian did, do it and enjoy it. I hope and I wish you all the best, but you are going to be playing with fire. The best thing to do when it comes to close grip is parallel grip, medium grip, or short grip, but always parallel hands. So you rely more on your radio brachialis and brachialis muscle, not as much as on your biceps when you turn under grip. So just forget about it. It's not very good. It's very dangerous. Can you talk about glycogen in reference to training? Yes, I just mentioned glycogen is necessary for training. Is much more important than ATP or adenosine triphosphate, which is directly related to creatine. So your training depends on glycogen storage in your muscles. Glycogen doesn't have to be fully restored. You don't need 100% of glycogen in your muscles to perform high intensity, efficient bodybuilding workout. You need 60 to 70%. And that will that will simply help you go through your workout session. So if you're on low carb diet, that whatever carbs they are, they will be used for glycogen, but most of the glycogen will be created via gluconeogenesis. This is the process that the liver uh, does and converts protein into glucose. Now people are saying, so why would you use protein for glucose when you simply can use carbs? Well, you will use protein for glucose because it's metabolically very expensive, so you will be burning more body fat. And this is that magical, oh, you cannot be lean and build muscle at the same time. Of course you can. If you understand a little bit of physiology, everything is simple, straightforward. You don't need to get fat. People who get fat in the off season, they are lazy people, spoiled, who enjoy their comfort and their carbs and their ice creams and pizzas in the off season, but they will justify that. Oh, you can eat that, no problem. I did it, and then I won shows. Yes, you can do. You can win your shows. You can do that as well, but this is not good for you. It's not healthy because this is going to make you insulin resistant. And if this is your case, if you don't care about your life after 30, 40, 50, fine. Go with your head through the wall, and I wish you all the best. A lot of people did. Look at so many of these famous bodybuilders. Where are they now? Some of them died, most of them ripped apart in the wheelchairs, etc. So if you like that, fine. Simply not necessary. There are a lot of intelligent professional bodybuilders nowadays who are not doing that. People like Jay Cutler, for example, Phil Heath, Dexter Jackson, many others. There are a lot of intelligent guys. They trained properly. They didn't go mental. They didn't overdo carbs. They didn't do fat in off season. Not much insulin, etc. And they look great today. Look, Lee Haney, for example. So you need to understand these things, Don't just go for the hype, because internet and YouTube, they're full of hypes. People who don't have any clue about anatomy, about physiology, about biomechanics, about nutrition. They may have won even professional shows, but from what they are saying, and this is your identity card, what you say, this is who you are. You don't need a signature. So I wish they really don't speak much, because they sell themselves very cheap. They should just shut up and rely on their results. They got there. We know how they got there. But when it comes to an intelligent approach to training and diet, one has to have enough knowledge to open his mouth. Because remember, whoever you are, if you're listening, your sentences, what you speak, this is your identity card. This is your signature. So welcome to my world. If you want to open your mouth, first make sure that you think what you're saying. Don't talk before you're thinking, because this is what makes you really not very good in eyes of people who understand these things. Kali, man, thank you very much for your super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It helps the channel. And guys, yes, feel free to support the channel by using super stickers and super chats. I would really appreciate that. And let me answer to Kali, man. Nice to see a fellow countryman from Yugoslavia doing well. I'm working on my diet and losing belly fat fast. Is this advisable to lift for gains while drastically cutting calories? Well, if you watched my videos, you will understand that I don't really appreciate calories. I don't count anything in calories. I only count macros. And you should be, depending on your goals, you should be anywhere from 3, 4, maybe 5 grams of protein per kg of body mass. So if you're, let's say, 100 kgs body weight, you should be eating around 300 grams of protein, maybe 150, 200 grams of fat, and not more than 50 grams of carbs. In some days, no carbs. This is what I do. So you don't need to count calories. You just, whatever is your body fat, multiply that by 3. This is your protein intake. Half of that amount in grams should be fat, and stick to your carbs, 50 grams or less. During your training days, you can have 50 grams of carbs, let's say in the meal before your workout, 2-3 hours before. And in your off days, no carbs at all. And let's see what happens. Nothing to worry about calories. Just look at your macros and follow this advice. And I think things will go well for you. So My Radin, thank you very much for your support again, for your super sticker, and I appreciate that again. And thank you very much, thinking that I'm worth it. So yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to say to people what I've done with my clients. As you all know, I competed 46 times, won 17 shows, training people for over 40 years, thousands of them, getting them in the best shape of their lives. So I must be doing something right, I think. Thank you. Nash, what is your opinion on nutrition based on blood type? I've heard bodybuilder Nenad Brkic, who competed in your era, talk about it. Okay. Yes, I competed against Nenad Brkic, Nenad Rosso. He was my idol at some point. The day arrived that I beat him on the show. I was very proud of that. And let me ask you a question. Imagine humans before agriculture. All humans in the world were hunters and gatherers. All they ate, their staple food was meat, nothing else. Do you think those people had the same blood type or maybe different? Yes, they had different blood types. So what happened? What happened to them? Well, archaeological findings are showing us that the remains of these people, pre-agricultural period, so remains of people who lived 7, 8, 10,000 years before before agriculture, obviously 20,000 years, so people from Ice Age as well, 20, 30, 40,000 years ago, their skeletons are showing actually extremely healthy bodies. They were all tall, on average 6 foot. Bones were absolutely healthy and intact, not deformed. The jaws are fully developed. The teeth are all there. No rotten teeth, no teeth to decay. So that suggests that these people who were hunters and gatherers, who relied mainly on meat, had perfect health, and they had different blood types. What about that? Now we came to the time when every little discovery changes everything, and people just come up with some amazing gadgets, discoveries. This type of diet, this blood type. Let me now do the watch for you, and that is going to tell you everything about your health, your blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, and you're going to live. What you're going to live? You're not going to live longer. Nobody lives longer. Human life is still the same. Nobody cracked 120,000 years. This is our DNA. People in the past maybe didn't live as long in average, but they did long lives. Why not in average? Because children were dying at birth, women were dying, people were dying young because they fought, they were dying from starvation, from disease, but that doesn't mean that the quality of life was bad. There are some people who live very long. So don't confuse that again with those numbers, averages, calories, digits. This is all absolutely confusing. So look at the remains, look at the anthropology. I studied anthropology with passion, and I realized that people in pre-agricultural era, I wrote that in my book actually, The Ultimate Nutrition. In a pre-agricultural era, people were extremely healthy. They didn't have cardiovascular diseases, cancers, heart diseases. They were unknown. Diabetes, God forbid, what is that? How can you have diabetes when you don't eat carbs? So yes, this is my answer to you. I don't believe in that 1 second. Is that just a modern diet? Anybody can talk about it, but just look at the facts, look at the evolution, look at the human history, and the answers will just pop out very easily for you. If you're trying to lower triglycerides, what do you recommend? Well, the diet that I just suggested, low carbs, because carbs are the ones that create triglycerides. So cut the carbs, everything goes down. When you cut your carbs, your cholesterol will go up because your LDL will go up naturally. You need LDL. This is the carrier of cholesterol and fat. Something needs to carry those fat and cholesterol to the destination point. And these are LDL. They are taxi drivers. So what is wrong when LDL is up? Oh, your cholesterol is high. Quickly, you have to go on statins. No. Now wait a little bit. What matters is the ratio between your triglycerides and your HDL. So when you are on low carb diet, high protein, medium fat, your triglycerides will go low and your HDL will go up, and you will have a perfect balance of perfect ratio between triglycerides and HDL, and this is what matters. Overall cholesterol doesn't matter. So here we go. I think this is the best answer for you. Alan Geo, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. And the question, do you have any input on cannabis and natural bodybuilding? Have you seen anyone succeed in gains while smoking regularly? Well, I didn't see anybody who is smoking regularly. I cannot tell you much about it. Well, you have to be careful. I'm not an extremist, as you know. I'm not advocating anything extreme. If you think that cannabis can help you relax, maybe, I don't know, a couple of times per week in the evening, and it helps you to feel better and perform better, then it's fine. But I can't comment on this. Not that I'm against it, but I never experienced it. I don't know how would you react to that. So you need to try. Just be careful not to be taken away with any substance like that, and just don't get addicted. This is the whole point. You don't want to get addicted. So sorry, but I can't answer the question because I don't have any experience. I can only talk about things that I have experienced myself personally. This is why I'm confident in whatever I'm saying about nutrition and training, because I have done it myself, so I can talk about it. Is it normal to feel tired and foggy when trying to lean out like your clients? I'm wondering if my calories are too low. Again, I don't like to talk calories because they are lying. They are not reliable. So forget about calories. Focus on macros. Yes, it's not easy depending on how much you want to lean out. If you want to get under 10%, get in the shape of a competitive bodybuilder, go on the stage, it's very hard. You may feel tired, but as I said, bodybuilding is not a comfort sport. So for most of the people who don't want to compete, they don't have to go under 10%, 8%, whatever. They will feel great. They will never be tired. They will feel happy. But if you want to be a competitive bodybuilder, then you know what? You have to take the beating. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. You may feel tired, but don't count calories. Just look at the macros. So if you are, let's say, 100 kg bodybuilder, and you eat 300 grams of protein and 150 grams of fat and 50 grams of carbs, the first thing to go should be carbs. You cut your 50 grams of carbs and then monitor your shape. If you're not getting leaner, then the fat should go down. From 150, you go to 120. Protein stays the same. And if you need to, you keep cutting your fat amount in your diet unless things change. Protein will have to remain 300 grams. So basically, I don't care about calories because they are individual. That doesn't matter. Nobody will tell you how much calories you need per day in order to keep your metabolic rate going, and it's impossible. This is absolute nonsense, right? To measure your MBR, how can you BMR to measure your basal metabolic rate on basis of what? On basis of your body weight, your gender, or your age? Really? What about your biochemistry? What about hormones? What about your personal aptitudes in digestion, breathing, heartbeats? Oh, well, these things are more important than your age, gender, etc. But nobody puts that into equation. So forget about calories. This is massive, massive nonsense. Whoever talks about calories doesn't know much about physiology. What is your opinion on soy milk? I don't like soy. It's not good for you. It's a GMO. It's a food that raises estrogen. You don't want it in your body. So just stay away from that. You do yourself a good favor. Why train one muscle group a week and not two? Well, I suggest that everybody should train every muscle group once per week. I explained that in many videos. For the full recovery of the muscle trained, of the connective tissues related to that muscle. It's not just muscle that you micro damage, micro break, but also connective tissue. They need double time to recover. So if muscle needs 3 days to recover, connective tissues need much more. And that is simply not negotiable. So if you want to experiment with your connective tissues, your joints, like many people did, good luck to you, but I would not advise that. Watch my videos. I explain that in detail very much. The Kali man, thank you again for your support. I have a herniated disc in my neck and shoulders. My right arm is also weaker because of an injury. I'm struggling with symmetry. My right arm and chest are always slightly smaller. Any tips? Well, I think I had clients like that. Some of them had operation and they managed to fix those issues. If the problem is solvable, you should do that. Otherwise, I can only say that you need to keep doing whatever you can without causing any pain and keep going. There is nothing else. There is no magic there. If something is, if nerves are not functioning perfectly 100%, then the muscles will not receive the stimulus. So you have to be very careful about that. You have to find a specialist and talk to the specialist about it. Once the problem is solved, you can continue training regularly and things will improve. But I cannot answer more because I'm not really associated with all the necessary details there. I randomly saw you at the local gym once, and your son also come to my gym once. Yeah, thank you. Well, good to know. What is your opinion on pre-exhausting muscle? So let's talk about that. What it means to pre-exhaust the muscles. So let's say you're training legs. If you have dominant glutes, for example, if your gluteus muscles are bigger than your quads, the good idea would be to do, let's say, leg extensions first and then leg press or squats, because that way the first muscle to give up to get done will be your quads. This is what you want. Now, if your quads are dominant but your glutes are not, then you should not do that. So everything, every effect has its cause. So you need to know why you are doing certain things. So yes, pre-exhausting the muscle can be beneficial, but you really need to know why you're doing that. So well, you need to think carefully about approaching this issue. Dr. Nash, barbell curls with EZ bars straight hurt my wrists. What is the thing? What is the great alternative? I already have seated incline biceps curls in my routine. Well, I don't know why. I assume you're talking that the straight bar is hurting your wrists from your message. You have to. Well, a lot of people don't know how to do biceps curls. People usually use their wrists when they lift the weight, but you should keep your wrists rather like this when you come up, not like that. So try holding the bar like this. So you eliminate your wrist motion and your stress on your wrists by holding the bar like this with wrists slightly pushed down, and that will push more stress on your biceps. You need to also, I don't know, maybe there is something wrong with your wrists, but seated incline, it doesn't have to be incline. It can be seated with dumbbells, incline as well. They're all good alternatives. Yes, you can do them. I'm actually doing something new. I'm doing the bodybuilding course. I finished my videos in the gym. I filmed every single workout, and in that course, I will be offering you most effective exercises for every muscle group. And I will explain how this should be done, in how many sets, how many reps, everything. So this is something completely new. Nothing like this ever existed. Nobody did it. I'm going to be the first one to do it, and I can't wait to finish this. It might take some time, but that course will be made of 8 videos. So when you receive the course, you will receive 8 videos. So you will have 6 videos for every muscle group. And in that, every single video for muscle group will explain the most effective exercises that you should do for that particular muscle group. You will also have one video in which I will be talking about best splits, how to split, 3-day split, 4-day split, 5-day split, and how to group the muscles, and also how many sets and reps you should do. And in the 8th video, I will be talking about nutrition, the best nutrition for muscle growth and fat loss. So guys, soon, I believe somewhere in March, maybe mid-March, that course will be available on my website. I will announce it, but I'm just letting you know that all these questions that you're asking me now, they're going to be answered in that course. So I hope you will benefit a lot from it. What is the best single book of yours for someone who's interested in looking like a Greek statue and not necessarily with specific size in mind? Well, this is the same thing as asking me what is the best book that Friedrich Nietzsche wrote. If I say to you all of them are the best, how can I pull one out? All my books are important. Weight Training is the book, I call it the Bible. I should have called it Bodybuilding Bible, actually. And I'll probably change the title anyway, because this is the only book ever written on bodybuilding with so much information there that you will never find in any other bodybuilding book written by whoever. I have every single bodybuilding book written in English, every single one. I have hundreds of them, and every single book on nutrition. And I looked at those bodybuilding books and I wondered why these people were so limited at giving information. Possibly because they were not very well educated and knowledgeable, and the information is very scarce, it's very limited, single-minded. Now, in my weight training book, I'm talking about physiology, I'm talking about anatomy, I'm talking about the muscles and how muscles grow, I'm talking about nutrition, I'm talking about injuries, I'm talking about overtraining. I'm giving you every single exercise explained, how to do it, start and finish, with over 100 photos inside. The book is more than 450 pages. Is that the best book? Possibly, but also there are other books on nutrition, etc. So you can go on my website and read the description of every single book that you can find on my website, and you will find exactly what you need. So it will take maybe a few minutes, but I think it's worth researching. Okay, let me see what else we can do. Dorian Gray, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. And you say, thank you for drastic Ally, changing my workout philosophy and body for the past 5 weeks. Question: what day to do trap shrugs and what day to do lower back in your 4-day split? Trapezius is a big muscle of the back. Most of trapezius is actually involved in your rowing exercises for back, the biggest part of trapezius. Now, when it comes to top trapezius, this is something that should be trained with shrugs. So you can do shrug. The best exercise for shrug, again, is going to be in my bodybuilding course. And you will see how I train that top part of the trapezius. I prefer to sit down on the bench and take 2 dumbbells and then lift them as high as possible. And I do that with shoulders because that particular top trapezius belong to shoulders rather than to back muscles. When it comes to lower back, I do it with back. And this is usually the last exercise in my back program. I usually do hyperextensions, body weight. I do 4 to 5 sets, max number of reps, usually 20, 25 reps in the first set, and then the reps start slowly coming down. And I would probably finish my 5th set with 12 to 15 reps. So give me 5 sets, over 100 reps. This is very, very important for spinal erector. So erector is spinae in Latin. And this is the muscle this is the best exercise for lower back. You want that area engaged. When people talk about deadlift, they don't know what they are talking about. Deadlift is not lower back exercise. Deadlift is the whole body exercise. Again, the one that stresses you beyond belief, and you're stressing your nervous system again, rather than particular muscle. If you really want to stress lower back, then you do hyperextensions. Sometimes you may use 10 kg plate, 20 kg plate, keep it in front of your head, not in your chest, as everybody does because it's easy. So, or on top of your head, if you want to increase intensity. And this will be direct exercise, very isolating for your lower back. And after you do 5, 6 reps, you will feel only your lower back. So the best choice would be hyperextensions. This is what I do. And as a last exercise in my back routine. Why did golden era bodybuilders train abs for a lot of reps and not for hypertrophy and heavy weights like any other muscle? Well, all the golden era bodybuilders did so many things right. Not everything was done perfectly. They didn't have to do abs every day. I've seen Serge Nubre, myself, training abs every day. That doesn't mean that that is the best way to do, simply because you don't need to do it. He did it, it worked for him, but I never did it. I had great abs. You get your abs shredded not with exercise, you get them shredded with diet. So they didn't use weights. This is good. You don't have to use weights because you don't want your abdominal muscles to grow. People who use weights, they will grow the abdominal muscles. They're going to start sticking out too much. You're going to lose your proportions. So you don't do that. I never did it with weights. I always did it either hip raises or crunches, max number of reps, 5 to 10 sets, depending on the day, depending on system. Usually 2 movements, either crunches will be first and hip raises will be second, or other way around. Maybe twice a week when I competed. Now I'm doing it once per week. I still have 6-pack, no problem. You don't have to. Well, whatever they did, it's fine, but you don't have to think that they've done everything right. I don't agree with them training muscle 2 or 3 times per week as well. So I'm not trying to be religious. I don't have to follow anybody blindly just because the person is Arnold or Serge Nubre or anybody like that. I'm talking about their principles, and whatever I tried and worked for me, I'm talking about it with 100% positivity and conviction, because I have done it, my clients have done it, so you are most likely going to be succeeding with that. Not necessarily I copy everything they do, everything they say. The good things are good things. If something is not right, I say it. You may like it or not, doesn't matter. But this is how I see things. Mob 307, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. Your question is, your last video talks about rest time. How many sets should I do per muscle if I do a full body split, including warm-up sets, and how much intensity? Well, I'm not getting everything from your question because I don't know what it means I do full body split. If you mean every muscle once per week, fine. How many sets should I do per muscle? Well, I advise anywhere for upper body muscles, chest and back, anywhere from 16 to 20 sets, legs as well. For more advanced people, even more. Warm-up sets, I don't count them. You can only do a couple of warm-up sets before you start training either your chest or legs. You can do a few press-ups. So I do a couple of sets of squats with no weights, my body weight, and this is it. This is an end of story. There is no such a thing as I don't consider warm-up sets. So on intensity, that's a big topic. So watch my videos on intensity, and you will get all the answers there. Because if I get into that, this is too long. Intensity, you should train close to failure, not to failure or beyond failure. Close to failure, 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. This is all you need to do. Stick to 8 to 12 reps for upper body muscles and 12 to 20 reps for lower body, for quads. Attila Zakos, thank you very much for your support. Your question is, I've been following your beginner program since last May. I eat clean carnivore, 2 grams of protein, kg body weight. I grow, but I still fat and have difficulties to lose fat. Your thoughts? Well, you need to reconsider your diet again. I don't know, maybe you're eating too much fat. And as I said, you need to keep your protein 2 grams or maybe 3 grams per kg, but you need to play with fat. So often people think if they go carnivore, they can eat as much fat as possible. Well, some people can, most of the people cannot. You have to be very careful because if you eat too much fat, that will go into fat. Obviously, you have that problem. So keep an eye on your fat, and you will probably need to cut that fat down a little bit. So things will start changing. Mike Ali Genacha, whatever is there, thank you for your support. Thank you very much again. Again, question that I answered: why only train each muscle, each body part or exercise once per week? Golden era advice from uncle, and I go slower, and now I am less fat, more muscle, 91 kgs. Yes, I advise training every muscle once per week, and regardless of whoever did twice or 3 times, if you listen to my advice, you will benefit as you did, which is great. Well done. I'm really proud of you and everybody else. There are a lot of people who come to my channel and they say they have improved dramatically because they started following my advice in nutrition and training. A lot of them, you can read the comments. I'm really, really very, very happy that I can manage to help all of you guys. This is my passion. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm writing books. Books are not written for me. I know what I know. I don't need to write a book for myself. They are written for others to learn. Remember, people read less and less, which is, I see it as a catastrophe. You need to understand that reading is the only way that you will deepen your knowledge and widen your horizons, regardless what you do. If you are in history of art, you need to read a lot about history of art. If you are in philosophy, you need to read a lot of philosophy. If you're in science, the same things apply. You need to read. I have a huge library at home. Half of it is philosophy, half of it is physiology, sports science, biomechanics, nutrition, biochemistry, all kind of areas, because there is the only way to learn. Forget about scripts, forget about chat GPT, forget about these quick answers. That is not going to happen. Read. If I can just give you one advice, is read. And yes, is it true that shoulders recover fast? Can I work them twice? No, this is not true. As I said, shoulders, when you say shoulders, you're not just talking about muscles, you're talking about connective tissues. The most fragile, the most complicated joint on the human body is actually shoulder joint. If you go into anatomy, if you see uh, how many bones are there, you have acromion bone, you have humerus, you have a scapula there, you have a collarbone. All of them merge into that joint, which is called shoulders, right? And now you have ligaments all over that joint. So imagine when you do shoulder press, upright row, lateral raises, all these exercises don't just stress your shoulder muscles, they stress your connective tissues, your ligaments and your tendons, and also cartilages, that bursa, which is critical one. And that needs recovery. And these connective tissues, they take twice longer than muscle tissues to recover. So if muscle recover within 72 hours, connective tissue will need 6-7 days to recover. So guys, think twice. Don't call just shoulders, because that unit is made of muscles, tendons, ligaments, and also cartilages, which is bursa. So when you get bursitis, because you're overtraining your shoulders, you will have the problem with your shoulder for 2-3 months, and it's not going to go away. So again, start reading. I can't. I don't know what else to do. I wrote all these books for you. Read, educate yourself, and many doors will simply open for you. Just that fog and doubt and mystery will disperse, and you will have a clear path to your success, to your progress, because knowledge is everything. If you don't read, it's going to be very difficult. Dr. Nash, what is the right weight you talk about in your videos? Can you give us number, percentage? Again, guys, don't be fooled with these numbers, digits, percentages. You're not robots, right? You're not a car engine. So I can take you to the mechanic and he's gonna attach you to the software and find out immediately what is wrong with you, because human body is so much more complicated. A right weight is the weight that you can use in a right amount of sets, a number of reps, with the time under tension, mechanical tension, and also rest between the sets. This is the right weight. How much is that? Nobody knows. Only you can find out. No percentages, no weight, no middle ground. Impossible. So follow the advice, take those principles, and then if I said 5 sets for chest, 8 to 12 reps, find a way that you can lift 12 in the first set, and then maybe 12 for 11 in the second, and then again 10 and 9 and 8. And in the last set, in the fifth set, if you go to 7 or 6, that was your last set, because you came out of the recommended number of reps. So this is the weight for you. This is the right weight. How much? God knows. How much? Percentages? What percentages? Non-existing. So that weight is right weight for you. Oh, but my friend is lifting twice much. Who cares? Oh, but that guy is lifting 3 times. Who cares? Who cares? Can you progress? Can you lift his weight? No. So who cares? Focus on yourself. Get out of this competitive weightlifting mind and start focusing on building muscle, and things will change. How much protein powder after the workout? So if you watch my other videos, I'm not recommending protein powder. I'm recommending food. So you need to eat 1 or 2 hours after your workouts. You don't have to eat anything after the workout. If you don't have time to eat, if you don't have any meal at home, then take a protein shake. Whey protein shake, any whey would be good. Take 70, 80 grams of powder, which will be 50, 60 grams of protein. Mix it with water and drink it 1 hour after your training session. Not immediately, 1 hour after. I explained that in many videos why not immediately after your training session. So 1 hour after your workout, have your protein shake, but don't make it a regular religious practice, right? Because this food is better for you. You need to eat food. Human body is not created to digest protein; it's created to digest food. I take protein shakes occasionally. Usually, when I don't have time to eat, if I have to stay in the gym and I didn't take food with me, I will have a protein shake 1 hour after my workout. And then 2, 3 hours later, I would eat something when I go home. Most of the time, I do not have a protein shake. I wait till I go home, sometimes 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours after my workout. Oh, but you're going to lose muscle. No, you are not going to lose muscle. Your body, don't worry about it. You're not going to lose anything because what matters is the overall amount of protein that you ingest during the day. So if that is exactly what you need, if that is, let's say, 300 grams of protein, you're going to be doing fine. It doesn't matter how long before workout, after workout. So you don't need to live in that hysteria about, oh, quickly, protein shake, biscuits, this, that, because I need glycogen, this and that. It just doesn't work like that. And this is not true anyway. So a little bit of understanding of nutritional physiology, and this all clears out. This is why I'm saying you need to read. Why put cottage cheese in our scrambled eggs? Delicious and full of protein. Yes, you can do that. You can mix them. I don't mix them. You just put it on the side. You can have cottage cheese. Instead of cottage cheese, you can have tuna. You can have chicken, just to increase the protein amount. But I prefer cottage cheese. Is very delicious. Is very good quality food. So yeah, this is my choice. Did Nietzsche help you in any way with bodybuilding? Well, nothing to do with bodybuilding, but I discovered Nietzsche some 40 years ago when I studied philosophy, and I read all of his books. I did my PhD thesis on Nietzsche's ethics and aesthetics, and I found him to be an excellent thinker, probably the greatest prophet ever. Yes, you think Jesus is the one, Mohammed is another, and similar. No, Nietzsche was actually much bigger prophet than all others because he understood human nature better than anybody else. And a great philosopher, great psychologist, probably the only one. Psychology is just taken out of proportion. The biggest psychologists were Nietzsche and Dostoevsky, and whoever is in psychology, if they didn't read Nietzsche and Dostoevsky, they didn't learn anything about psychology. So not necessarily in bodybuilding, but in certain other principles, I discovered a lot of his thoughts to be very similar to my views and my values. So definitely a companion, maybe the closest companion that I had in life. How many sets for each biceps and triceps per week? 16 total, or 16 for triceps and 16 for biceps? Okay, short answer to this. I do usually 3 movements for biceps, five sets each. This is 15 for biceps. And I do 3 movements for triceps, and this is usually three exercises, 5 sets each, so 15 for triceps. Altogether, in my Saturday workout, which is arms only, I do 30 sets. Sometimes I may go higher than that, depending on the day. I don't clip myself in 5 sets per exercise. No, if I start push downs, I can do 7, 8 sets of push down. I can do French press 4, 5 sets, 6 sets, depends how I feel. Then I would do rope push down, again 4, 5, 6 sets, but in average is 5 sets. Thank you. The best advice I ever received. Thank you very much. So pleased to have you discovered your channel, making gains like I didn't think were possible. Very good. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad you've done it. Well done. Many people came back and said the same. I'm really happy to hear that. Do you have any opinion on building an athletic body using only calisthenics, weighted push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, squat? Well, not really. No, you need to give yourself the best, and there are a lot of exercises that you cannot just do with body weights. It's still better than doing nothing. It's great. It's good when you go on holiday. You don't have to go to the gym or stop training. You can still do push-ups, squats. You can do pull-ups, V-sits. You can do crunches, hip raises, whatever. It's still good. It's still great. But this is not the best way to build a body. As obviously, as you know, everybody who built serious body did it with bodybuilding workout and with a lot of equipment and free weights. So yeah, good for holidays, but in overall, you need a good gym. I think I'm going to do the video soon about what the good gym should be, and I will explain actually what is all needed in order to build the best body that you can personally build. Is it true that drinking fluids and eating solids together negatively impact digestion and decreases the amount of macros obtained out of the solids? Usually protein. Well, the simple answer to that, your stomach is a big sack full of hydrochloric acid, 3 liters in average. So hydrochloric acid is awaiting protein. Another simple physiological suggestion that protein is the most important thing, macro in your diet, because you need protein. This is why hydrochloric acid is there, not for carbohydrates, but for protein. Is literally waiting for it. So when you drink fluids, a little bit of fluids is fine, but if you drink a lot of water or juice or coffee or tea during your meal, then you will be diluting your hydrochloric acid, and this is not good. You want to have really strong, concentrated hydrochloric acid. Now, the thing with aging is that people lose concentration, the potency of hydrochloric acid every year, and they should do everything possible in order to increase that concentration of hydrochloric acid, not to decrease it. So definitely no liquids with a meal, because every meal in itself already contains water. So that's enough. So I think that's the answer for your question. How much water per gram of whey protein? Again, a numbers game. So it's impossible to deal with this. I think the best way would be to put as little water as possible. So you make that shake really thick, because of the same reason I just explained. You don't want to dilute your hydrochloric acid. So less water you put, better you will digest. Period. Any specific recommended movements to develop the inner chest? Well, whenever you do chest exercises, whatever it is, bench press, decline press, flies, you are always using the same muscle. You're using major pectoralis, which origin is in your sternum and insertion is in the shoulder. So when you stretch that muscle, you're stretching that muscle from the origin to the insertion. When you contract from insertion to the origin, and the whole muscle is engaged. There is no lower middle, inner, outer, doesn't exist. It's just people invented it out of nothing, nonsense. When you use your muscle, when you use your biceps, you can't use this part of biceps or that part of biceps or this part of chest. It just doesn't work like that. So everything you do for chest works the whole major pectoralis muscle. The only difference is the clavicular portion of major pectoralis. This is the muscle under the clavicle or under your collarbone. It can be anywhere from 15 to 20% of your major pectoralis is called clavicular portion of major pectoralis. Okay, we call it upper chest. So this is the only distinguished area that should be trained differently on incline bench, because it's not attached to the shoulder but to the clavicular bone. You need an angle to stretch that muscle fully. You're not stretching it fully by lying down on the horizontal bench. Apart from that, everything you do will cover the whole major pectoralis muscle from the middle to the insertion. In your split, triceps and chest are in the different days, but isn't triceps working in the chest day too? You can train triceps with chest, no problem. I prefer to train it with shoulders. And your triceps is used while you're doing chest, but you're not training it because you never have the full extension and full contraction of your triceps while you're doing chest. If you do your chest correctly, you will minimize the participation of your triceps. So if your elbows are out when you do bench press, like this, then you're going to be using mainly your chest muscles. If your elbows are down, which is the wrong way of doing bench press, then you're going to be using more your shoulders than your triceps. So it's entirely up to you. You need to understand again what you're doing. This is directly related to anatomy and biomechanics. And if you don't know much about it, you're just going to be copying somebody else in the gym and listen to some cowboy, and you're going to end up training your shoulders and triceps on your chest workout without even touching your chest. And this is why often people lift heavy bench press, but they don't have chest at all, because they simply don't train their chest. They're training shoulders and triceps. So yes, triceps can be trained with chest, because by doing chest properly, you're not training your triceps. You're using it, and you should be using minimally. So again, think it twice. Hi, Nash. Guys, I'm partaking in a 90-day challenge. Dr. Nash is running. Dr. Nash is running and highly recommended. As already I'm benefiting from the accountability element. Don't want to let the dog down. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, Matthew Wolf is participating in my 90-day transformation challenge. Whoever is interested, you're more than welcome. You can watch the video on my channel, which is created just for that. And you can also see it on my website if you're interested. This is going to be 90 days transformation challenges in which I'm only taking 20 people. Places are already almost full. And I will be personally monitoring them, doing the training programs, nutritional programs, and having consultations on a regular basis with them in order to help them change as much as possible in 90 days. So whoever wins, I will promote that person on my YouTube channel. We will do the video in which I will interview the winner, and the winner will explain and talk about his experience and what he has done in order to achieve that transformation. I will decide who has changed the most, and obviously the person who has achieved the best transformation will be the winner. So if you are interested in that, visit my website and also watch the video on my channel, which is directly dedicated to that subject. What is your personal bodybuilding philosophy? Mass at all costs, symmetry first, longevity focus, or performance driven? Not very clear question. Everything I talk about is muscle growth and fat loss, and this is the priority. It's longevity focused, performance driven. I don't know what that means. Symmetry first, always symmetry first. This is why I recommend particular training splits in order to achieve good symmetry. And everything I do is always focused on muscle growth and fat loss, because I'm only interested in that. I'm not interested in anything else. I don't care about strength training. I don't care about maximum personal best. I don't care about tearing your joints apart, because it's absolute nonsense. So there's nothing to do with me. Guys, we're going to have another 4 minutes. So if you want more questions, please post them, because I'm going to finish this in a few minutes. Is 300 grams of protein and 100 grams of fat with 200 grams of carbs refeed once a week good for contest prep? I love your work. Thank you very much for that. So 300 grams of protein, 100 grams of fat. This is very good. This is good ratio if you want to cut, obviously. 200 grams of carbs refeed once a week. Well, you have to be careful with these 200 grams. If you want to do refeed, yes, you can do. Try, monitor your shape, how you feel next day. Is everything the same or better? So this will tell you if you feel good, if you're tighter, if you don't have water retention, then your 200 grams is okay. If something is a little bit wrong and you're doubting, next time try 150. So again, it's very important that you start listening to your body, because you are the one to feel, to decide, because we are animated creatures. I can tell you what I think is the best for you, but I can't feel for you. You understand? So you have to get there yourself. Keep trying. Sometimes I would put my clients on 450 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, 0 carbs, and then they get at peak. Then they get in the best shape. So obviously this is extreme, but it doesn't last for long. It lasts maybe for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. And then after the show, we cut the protein down, increase fat, maybe a little bit of carbs 2-3 times per week to simply recharge or relax a little bit. But it's the point is that you need to constantly experiment, because even the next show, the same things may not work again, because you're different. You changed. You trained another 6 months or another year. You're becoming more sensitive. Your approach is different. So you may need something different. This is why that feeling, instinctive approach is absolutely critical. Thank you very much. Again, the Monkey 1642, thank you very much for your help. Love your book, Build Muscle, Lose Fat. Found out I've been overtraining. I'm 59, been out of the gym for over 2 months, starting your 3-day program when it's good time to switch to 4. Well, the good time to switch to 4 is when you feel, again, that you want to switch to 4, that you can't wait to go to the gym. Then you start feeling a bit anxious, like 3 times per week is good for beginners. But then after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, the person feels like, wow, I just want to go again. I want to do another session. That's the time. That's the only right time. Nobody in the world will ever say to you, oh, after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, oh, numbers, digits. No, when you feel, then you go to your 4th session and you feel amazing. This is when you hit the nail in the head. But you need to become animated again, not just mathematical software creatures. Feel it. When you get it. But after some time, even 4 sessions, you may need 5. When? when you feel that you need 5, when you hit the 5th session and you feel better, but not when you hit the 5th session, and then you do it for 2-3 weeks and you're shattered, you're exhausted. You obviously done it wrong. So you have to follow your feeling. Benedict 25, again, thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate that. And yes, I'm glad if I can help, and if I can do anything, just suggest, or any topic you want me, I'll do the video again. And everything I do is just to help you build muscle and burn fat, because this not only it looks good, it's so important for your performance, for your self-confidence, but with more muscle tissue and less body fat, you're going to be having extremely much better metabolic health, and that will take you for a long ride, and you will be much happier, illness, sickness free for the rest of your life. So low body fat level is probably one of the most important markers for longevity, not to mention muscle tissue. So muscle on one side, low fat on another, problem solved. And this is all that I am interested in and I'm talking about. Cameron, again, thank you very much for your help. I really appreciate. Well, I am one of those guys that people say you get what you see. So I've always been doing the same thing, talking the same things. Never try to deceive anybody, not myself, obviously. So yeah, I really appreciate your help. Yeah. Dr. Mike says when doing a bench press, the triceps volume should be accounted for as half a rep of each of your chest. For example, if you do 10 reps in bench, it counts for 10 reps for triceps. Amazing. Unbelievable. Exactly opposite to what I said. So, well, listen, we live in the free world, and everybody is free to choose their own gods, right? How do we choose them? By heart or by reason is entirely up to the individual, but you need to choose who you're going to follow and which advice you're going to take on board. All I can say to you, follow somebody, listen to somebody, and see what happens. Just try and see. And if you get results, amazing. I can't be happier to see you progressing, whatever you do, whoever you follow. But you know what? I don't want to comment on other people, but I have most of my clients and most of my that I see one-to-one, and also people who are I'm coaching online. There are lots of them. 90% of them came from gurus like that guy, saying what they're saying, teaching what they're preaching, whatever. And they all been there 5 months, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, and they said to me, I never changed. I don't know what to say. I really wish you all the best, and I hope you will all have amazing progress listening to all these guys on internet. But you know what? Just be careful. Just be careful. Jeep Australia, thank you very much for your support again. Really appreciate it. You said, really, thank you. Really explained why my old school PT used trend, why he did one muscle per week, probably high volume, 15, 20 rep, rest, carnivore, thanks you to explaining why. Well, you're more than welcome. I hope you learned something tonight, and that you will keep progressing. Obviously, your old PT did something right, so that's great. It happens sometimes. It rarely happens, but yeah, it doesn't happen often. But it's good when it happens. So, guys, Thank you very much for participating tonight. I think I managed to answer some of your questions. I think I actually answered quite a few. I would appreciate if you put some comments on this video when it comes on my channel. And thank you very much for everybody who supported the channel with super stickers and super chats. I will be doing this live chat again, maybe in a couple of weeks. And until then, I hope you will enjoy my channel. And if you go on, if you watch videos, please send me your comments, like the videos, subscribe to my channel if you didn't. This helps. And once again, thank you very much for everybody who supported this channel tonight with super stickers and super chats. So, guys, take care of yourselves and see you soon.